So we just got out to our first hole, and it's our traditional hole. It's called the pump house hole. It's quite a good hole to fish. It's a little bit smaller back eddy, but it holds some big fish. And it's really the first time we've tried it this early. We normally start around, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock on this on the river we're on today, which is our home waters in the Columbia. And today, really, we want to show everybody a little bit about how to fish caddis, hatches, and mayflies. This time of year, it's early July, and we get some outstanding mayfly and caddis hatches on the Columbia. And it's like a lot of traditional big waters. You get these hatches around late June, early July. And we're using indicators. We've got some real nice nymphs, and I've got a real special one to show you on the bench. It's a real nice caddis pattern, UV caddis pattern. Hopefully we'll catch some on it. But it's all about the Columbia, mayflies, and caddis nymphs today. So take you sport fishing on the fly. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that big dome. Hey.
I think it's the technique. I think it's the fisherman.
Some days are good and some days are better.
A lot better.
Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you in part by Islander, builder of world-class fly, float, and mooching reels. The Frog Boat, inspired by nature, ingenious by design. And the Freshwater Fishery Society of British Columbia. Catch what you've been missing. Go fish, BC. The first fish of the day. Came to our second hole, just had a little lunch. I normally want to get out here around 10:30, 11 o'clock. Fishing usually starts around noon. And as I mentioned earlier, it's that June, July time frame. It's right now we're in early July, but these fish start feeding anytime in June. A lot of them have finished spawning. You do get some post-spawn fish, but you get some beautiful fresh fish too. And this guy looks like one of our little guys, one of the smaller ones you're going to catch. You can see him down there. He's kind of the 18-inch range. We're going to get some fish up to potentially 8 pounds. We'll hit a couple areas where we know some of the big boys lay, and that's a little later. That's when the dry fly comes on. But really today it's really all about the caddis and the mayflies. We've had really good mayfly hatches all through June. We've had some great caddis hatches just starting in early July. And this is indicative of all big rivers. If you fish the Missouri, a lot of the big rivers down the U.S. and even the Bull River, even the smaller rivers like the Crow's Nest, you get a lot of stoneflies, you get a lot of caddis and mayflies coming off in that late June, early July. And if you use it right, and the one thing people don't do, there he is there, one thing people don't do is they don't fish indicators in the bigger holes. There's a lot of these big rivers that hold big back eddies, and they're deep holes. They're anywhere from 30 feet up to 100 feet. And people won't fish them because if the fish aren't up, they can't catch the fish, but the fish are always up. They're always out there looking, and they know to sit in what I call the transition zone. They'll go to about, 6, 8 feet, even 12 feet, and just swim around looking for food. If there's nothing really hatching, they just sit in that transition zone and feed. And that's all we're doing. We're just hanging indicators in this, in these 60, 80-foot holes, and the fish are all up just cruising around looking for food, and we're picking them off. So let's get this guy landed, see if Dale can help me with the net, and I'll let you hold him up. There he is there. Oh, not a bad size, eh, Dale? Little guy?
No.
That's about the smallest ones we'll catch.
I'm reviving the net there.
Yeah.
Nice little.
Oh, beautiful fish, eh? Just, you know, that 18-inch or so.
Yeah.
Nice chrome bullet.
Get his lip over the top there.
There he goes. Oh, yeah, go on. There it is.
Oh yeah, okay, I see what you're using there.
Yeah,
Nice
it's just
little
a
caddis submerger.
Yeah,
eh?
a little caddis submerger. And I've got my UV one that I want to try later for murky water. You know, that UV caddis is a killer, so maybe we'll put that one off after, but I like to start with that guy.
Looks good. Well,
Hey, half an hour in, it's not bad.
You've had 3 fish on.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
So I'm running kind of a mayfly imitation, which really worked the other day when we were out here. So they seem to be up on caddis. So I think I'll switch. Dawn's had 3 in the time we've been here, and I haven't had a bite with this thing yet. So I think I'll switch to the caddis as well. So you recommend I try some of a brighter one, Don?
Yeah, try the caddis, that UV caddis submerger that I tie.
UV, okay.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of, you know, UV sparkle to it, which the fish like in murkier water like we have. Might work really well.
Okay, I'll give her a go. Wow, that's a big caddis.
Yeah.
This big UV one?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's a big pattern for here.
They like it for the dirtier water, and you know what? They were clobbering it the other day. They see those caddis coming off.
Well, it's very
and it's
reflective. Well, you can certainly see a twinkle in the sun.
There's another. Oh. Well, they're definitely on the caddis right now. That's too
Yeah,
low.
and
I
that's
just got it
that
back
smoker.
out there and bang. And I just want to give you an idea of the day. You know, it's expected to get up to highs of 32, 33 Celsius. So that's, you know, high 80s, low 90s Fahrenheit. We're on a river. The water right now in the Columbia is running about 54 to 55 degrees, depending on where you're at. That's prime. If you're going to go out and fish for mayflies and caddis, you know, anything above 48, the bugs start moving. You know, normally anything stones always start early. A few other things with the colder water. You hit that critical time, 52, that just triggers the mayflies and caddis. They come off from these big rivers, and it stays really good until that 62, 63 temperature. After that, fish tend to go down a little deeper. You know, that's when you get in the doldrums of August, when the water temperatures climb above the 65, 66. But boy, anytime they're in that 54 to 58, even 60, you're in prime caddis and mayfly conditions. So, oh gee, and this is what I expect to catch, Dale. This is a better fish. Oh yeah. Oh, oh, look at the flies out.
Flies out.
Flies out. There he is there. Look at the colors. They're just gorgeous fish. You know, they're beautiful, clear, real pretty fish. Let's get them back in. Oh, gee, he wants to go. Oh, look at, you got him in the net.
Got him in the net just to hold him
Look
for
at
a
the
second.
debris. We got logs floating down the river. There he
There he
goes.
goes.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah, nice fish.
So that's the little guy, the little green emerger, and you got the bigger guy on right now.
I think I better match it, otherwise I'll be the net man all day. That's all he's done so far.
Funny thing is, you know, we always come out and pre-fish, and we did a couple of fishes. Yesterday we had a smoking day.
Yeah, really good
Day
day.
before, really good, and they were keen on both, right? It started mayflies because we had mayflies coming off. Then it went to a bit of caddis combination yesterday because remember you had the mayfly nymph on.
Mayfly, yeah.
And then boom, they're on the caddis now. So when you're on those mayfly caddis, got to remember mayfly and caddis come off about the same time. Usually the May is a little bit colder weather, a little colder water. But they're always first and then right after the caddis. And if you can use them in combination, like a hare's ear nymph, a prince nymph, any kind of beadhead nymph, imitates them all, right? And you can cover both the Mays and the caddis with a couple of simple patterns. And we'll try to show a simple one on the bench, but I got to try the UV, right? A secret pattern I showed you guys.
Yeah, I know. That was, the other night that worked, was a killer, so.
And I got a brand new material that Spirit River supplies called UV2 material. It's outstanding. I know, the big suckle. I got to get on the electric motor.
You're on the motor, you'll see the way the current's coming by here, it's.
So you changed over to the green. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Small one, but
That's all right. Fish is a fish.
that's it. They're definitely on those caddis,
Yep.
eh?
I'll let you know him yourself. He's just a little guy.
He's a little guy.
That's a good starter fish. Good warm-up fish.
Flies out, so he's good to go.
Well, I did the cardinal sin. As always, when you're fishing with indicators, you want to pay attention to the indicator, and I didn't, and I paid the price. I turned around, my indicator was going in the current real hard, I set the hook and snapped them off. So whenever you snap a fly off that you know is working, I tend to do the opposite of what most people would do is put on the same pattern. I like to change it up because if I know one pattern's working, I want to try something new. And this one here has always been good when the caddis are coming off, and there's no reason really for it. It's you can see the color. It's red, it's claret. It's actually tied claret. Same kind of body pattern, same thing. Tied exactly the same way, same kind of bead, only with claret. And in the murkier water conditions, this fly normally shines better than the green one. So Dale's got the green on. I'm going to give this guy a go and see how he works. And if I don't have any luck with it, I'll go back to green after. Oh, and you know what I did? Tied it on before I put on my other indicator. Here we go, start again. Well, clip off the red. For some reason, that's why every day is different today. They don't like the red at all. They're just keying on anything green, and not green pheasant tails either. Like we had the green, my favorite right here. So these are my favorite patterns I like to use. I've got the green pheasant tail flashbacks that I tie. I've got some, a lot of the traditional pheasant tail type patterns, the prince nymph type patterns. I got some other pheasant tail patterns. I've got lots of mayfly nymphs. And my special UV patterns I like to do when there's, when it's darker or there's bad lighting conditions. I got a bunch of different mayfly patterns. And of course all my different caddis patterns. I've got a whole bunch here. My UV caddis, I've got a bunch of shrimps in here, a bunch of different kind of caddis emerger patterns like that. And we use all these different colors. Red was one of my favorite, or claret. And then right now they're not keying on it. They seem to be keying on this little guy right here. So there he is there. Obviously being used before, since I still have the line hanging from it. So that's it. So we tied down on the bench. That's our little Columbia River emerger. And it's all that's catching them right now. So we'll have to wait. Try this for a little while longer. I think the bulldog might try the bulldog, eh? What do you think?
Yeah, I should pass it around. It sure worked good earlier in the year.
Yeah. So, out here, you got to try it all. When they're not hitting, change it up. Try different things. Yes, the Mayfly Nymphs. Look at, you can even see the two big cheese balls in the background. There's Big T and Dwayne.
Oh. Hey, splashing me.
Fat, chunky guy. Feeding good, beautiful rainbow. Nice.
They're chubby. Yeah, 12 inches long and 3 inches
Yeah,
tall.
yeah.
Let them revive a little bit.
Yeah.
Make it.
Oh, they don't take long in this cold water. There he goes. Nice. 54-degree water temperature. Just prime. Just starting to really crank. In the next little, next 2-3 weeks, this will just light up. You fish indicators in the day till they all emerge, then you fish the dry fly. So we're talking about moving. What do you think?
Well, we could try a little
Try
bit.
a few more and then-
I just broke that
What
one
time you
off.
got?
That's
What
why I'm
time you got?
retying. 4:30.
When you had the big one. Big guy, just snapped them off. Yesterday we were out with Dwayne, our good friend. Like I said, Big T's up visiting. He's gonna do a little guiding. And Dwayne had about an 8-pounder. I was big fin right near the creek mouth. Wham, snapped them off. Faulty equipment, Big D. We're talking about him. It was bad.
Same thing as me here. I didn't
know.
retie. I've had 2 days fishing with the same rig. You got to retie. You got to retie.
So what are you telling everybody?
I know.
Retie,
But we're
right?
too lazy to
I know,
retie.
that's the problem. Most people, they won't take the time to retie your fly after you catch a fish.
You're
If you
not.
feel any gnarling, on your line, if you feel it by the teeth gets gnarled, change it. Take an extra time because it'll break right there. And always retie on, especially on the swivels, because they do get worn, right?
Yeah.
They get
That's
beat
where
down.
mine broke. At
Right
the swivel. Yeah, right at the swivel.
So, pays to retie. Well, let's get out there for a bit longer. We got a few more holes we want to hit. This one seems to be productive. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, gorgeous. Is that ever? Wow. Is that ever? Look at that. Right on. Okay, thank you. Let him go right here. Oh, he feels heavy.
Feels heavy.
Feels thick. Whoa, 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 yeah, he's a good one.
It's gonna have to be a surprise.
Oh, jeez.
It's gonna have to be a quick dip surprise. No.
Yeah.
Oh, here it comes.
Ah, what a scrap. Oh. Wow.
Oh, a crow.
Wow.
In great shape.
Oh, just a toad. Get the nymph out. Oh, yeah. Look at this guy. Wow. Yeah, great shape, eh? Look at that. Oh, look at that. Just gorgeous. Chrome bullet. Beautiful. Look at that. After a fight, he's just gone. Wow, this one's another dandy. Oh, right up in this big water. Oop, don't want to get looped around there. Oh, it's gorgeous fish. Look at him, he's coming right up. They're loving the Mayfly Nymph
The Mayfly Nymph is definitely the one to have on here.
Oh, and that's
Our
go to the
bogs,
bench.
our floats were right beside each other too, right? That shows you the difference between the
And
caddis
it's a
and
nice beadhead Mayfly. You know,
Parakeet on.
pheasant tail body. But the key to this one, always that little bit of UV flash in there. Right? You always give it. I always love to give all my patterns just a little bit of UV flash. Oh, and this one's got it right along the back. So we'll tie this one up. It doesn't take much. It's just got that little glint that just sets them off. Oh yeah. Ooh. Oh. That's the way. Try to get the fish in quick.
Yeah.
Try to get them in fast. You don't want them to. Yeah, and these are beautiful fish because they're just chrome. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm just gonna dip them in here. Let them get revived, and there he goes. That's a great way not to touch a fish either. You just got to do that. Wow, excellent. Well, you know what we're gonna do? Gonna go to the bench right now. Gonna tie up that special little Mayfly Nymph. It's working great.
Yeah, it is deadly.
And the sun's going down pretty soon.
Dry
Well, that
fire,
means
like last night. We had a great
fly,
night last night.
fantastic night.
Okay.
I'll give you the.
Thanks.
Today on the bench, I'm going to tie you up the green UV Sparkle Nymph. Now this is a great overall nymph that works well all season long. Make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. For the hook, we'll use a size 12 2x long nymph, some 8/0 olive thread to tie with, a 7/64 inch gold tungsten bead for the bead, some black goose biots for the tail, some UV2 olive yarn for the body, some small copper wire for the rib, some more goose biots for the wing, and some insect green emu for the collar. To start the fly off, I've put my bead onto the hook and I've got my thread on there. I've taken 2 goose biots and I've put them opposite so they splay out from the hook. And we're going to tie them on and make them, again, about a ½ inch long. Now that the tail's tied in, I'm going to take some of my copper wire and wrap it in, and we'll rib the body up with this a little bit later after we tie in the body. Now take a strand of your olive sparkle yarn and I'm going to tie it in just behind the bead just because I want the body to be even. I'm going to wrap over it with the thread back, bring my thread forward, and then wrap to form a body. And again, we want a slightly tapered body. As I wrap this up, I want it just a little bit thicker up by the head of the fly. Now we're going to take the copper wire that we had off the back of the hook, and I like to reverse it, go the opposite way, and we're going to form about, 4 to 5 ribs up the fly, just to segment that body. Now I've taken 2 more goose biots, and I'm going to do one at a time. I'm going to lay them on the hook, right behind the bead, and I want them just to extend back about the length of the body. And make sure they stay around the top of the hook. Tie one in and do the same with the second bite. And that's just going to form a couple of small wings on top of the fly. Now that we have the top wings on, I'm going to take my emu feather and we're going to wrap it in right behind the bead. Cut off our excess and then we'll wrap it forward. And I like a fairly bushy head on this fly. And as you pull it forward, just pull those emu feathers back. And And this gets a real nice bushy head on the fly. It really sets this nymph off. And tie it off just behind the bead. Now to finish the fly off, take my whip finisher and right behind the bead, put about 3 or 4 whip finishes in, and that'll do it. So there it is, the finished green UV Sparkle Nymph. As I mentioned on the intro, it's a great overall pattern to use in rivers, and I even use it in lakes.
Oh. After the run back up the river.
That was amazing. Good day. You know what, again, it was probably 32 to 34 degrees on land, but this water being 54 degrees, it cools it off coming back.
The big refrigerator was good.
Yeah, and the funny thing I saw this year, not funny, but kind of cool, is the size of the caddis this year. They're
huge
monstrous, and they're all over the place, so maybe because of the big water.
Big water, big caddis.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And we've been out here a few days now, and we've had, pretty great fishing all around. It's been quite outstanding, and today we showed you a few of the different techniques you can use. Mayflies and caddis, so something to key on in any kind of river system. I mean, they're in lakes, they're in rivers, they're everywhere. We showed you a really good pattern on the bench that always works out here, that nice little mayfly pattern. And if we do another show out here, I want to show you what I call this UV caddis. It's also another great pattern.
Yeah, that's a good pattern.
A really good pattern. Well, I gave it to you guys, right? I was trying to hold out on them.
No, gave it to us, and we got fish after fish.
I know.
Of course, our slowest night is when we bring the cameraman Les with us,
Of course.
But anyway, still great days, especially with everything else around the province is in flood.
Yeah.
Right, everything is flooding. This river is in flood, but at least it runs clean,
Yeah,
so you
and
can still
fish
do it. Yeah.
Which is good, even if it's dirty. So when you're out here, take care, conserve our waters. Thanks for coming out, as always. And we'll see you next time when we take you sport fishing on the fly. To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.